Hello? Check, check, check. Hi. Hi. Let's see, hopefully it saved us where we were. Where we finished yesterday. Let's see. It doesn't look like it saved all of it. It looks like we're somewhere slightly different. Maybe? Oh no, we're good. Yay.
Little girl. Dad abandoned her. You saw that, right?
I did.
Who does that?
I wish my dad had left.
Tell me about your dad.
He was a brute.
How so?
I don't remember much. Just as... vile. He was horrible.
Ooh, cemetery. A cemetery.
Ooh. There was an epidemic.
The fever. That's what killed Ethel's entire family.
Must have been a nightmare.
Eighteen 32.
A graveyard. We need to investigate this.
You're a detective now.
Oh, stop it. You know, the names, the dates. We should take a look. Archie, that sounds so sweet.
I have left the troubled ocean.
That doesn't sound so sweet.
Disappointed but never surprised.
remember him. Bad news, that guy.
How so?
Smuggler, I think.
Cast a cold eye on life, on death. Horsemen pass by. Thaddeus Cook.
Softly at night, the stars are shining on you.
Ethel. She lived so much longer than her family. She was so strong. I don't know how she managed. Dylan Sprouse.
A constable? Didn't know the islands had a police force.
Neither did I.
Look, it's Terence, the baker. He never left.
All he made was love.
Nora Crown.
Doesn't that sound vaguely familiar to you?
It does. Her name was in that newspaper article we found back at the school.
That seems kind of dark. Remember me and I will love you forevermore. Hello, been waiting here for you. Cordelia
Cordelia Crown. We know all about her.
Callum Compton.
Look at the date. 18th of June, 1833.
Same as Cordelia Crown. You think there's a connection?
It's possible.
Scruff.
Died in 1944. That's late.
That's like 100 years later. He was a fool, but Francis loved him.
Oh shit. It's Beatrice Parker from the school. That's so sad.
Huh. Interesting. Oh, did we? Did not. There's nothing there. Into the house we go. Oh, chapel.
This is about Beatrice. From the school. A cornerstone of this community.
Mass preparation, 1846. In mass preparation. In mass, I must remember to announce the church picnic next week, and most importantly, I most especially remember to announce the opening of the Cordelia Crown Elementary School. We'll talk to the organist about arranging for the children to sing a song in Miss Beatrice Parker's honor. Miss Parker has been of such service to our community. To think without Miss Beatrice Parker, so many of our children would be unable to read and write. Now we have our own school, and she can teach them all. Such a blessing.
Here's another one.
Let's play it. I like listening to her voice.
I'm such a silly goose sometimes. Thought the evil spirit wouldn't follow me into a church. Shut up! Maybe I've seen too many movies. God, if you're listening, this spirit is evil. Hear me? Evil. Yes, I'm talking about you. I hear him all the time. Sometimes I wish I had gone back with the others. At least I could have talked to a psychiatrist or something. Now it's just me and him. Stop! These people you talk about, they've been dead for so long. Why does it matter? I don't understand any of it. I don't care about Cordelia Crown or why she thought she needed to confess. I want a bit of peace in my head. Yes, you gave me Seabrook, but you want me to stay on that beach forever. But why? Yes, I'm listening. Father Thomas, yes. He's the one that taught you to read, I remember. So he was here when it all happened.
Was she talking to you?
Not as far as I know.
Father Thomas.
You think he knew me?
Maybe he taught you how to read. Cordelia Crown. Oh,
What? What does it say? Did she come to the priest?
shh. Trying to read, Josh.
Ooh. To my utter disbelief, Mr. Cordelia Crown, and this is 1830, came to see me in the dead of night. I was awoken to a loud pounding on my door. There stood Mrs. Crown in quite a state. She demanded I listen to her confession and would hear nothing of my protestations about the lateness of the hour. The confession I was privy to was nothing short of remarkable. She could no longer carry the burden of the terrible secret, she said. But no gentle lady, as is Mrs. Crown, could ever have been responsible for any wrongdoing, much less the travesties of which she spoke. Alas, I fear she has succumbed to the fevers. I sincerely hope her deliriousness will disappear come morn. Notebooks all over the place in here.
Who's it from?
Pixie.
The little girl?
I guess she grew up.
Dearly beloved friends, forever I will remember my mother as a young woman standing on the edge of the cliffs, her steely gaze set on the sea, watching for my father's return. With great heartache she had to give up waiting, but she never lost her love for our islands. My family is tied to this place for eternity. You may remember my mother Nora as the one you could always count on to care for your children, to wipe a fevered brow, to read you a letter. She was as good and as kind as the day is long. I cannot express the depth of my loss. Just as my mother would never heal from the loss of my father, I too now possess a permanent hole in my heart. Dearest mother, I hope you have found the peace I know you never found in this life. And I hope you are looking down and smiling upon your beloved islands. I will love you always, your dearest daughter, Pixie.
Cordelia Crown.
Died in 1833.
We already knew that.
Lots of things in there.
I'm glad we're out of there.
You don't like churches?
I don't like graveyards especially. Cordelia Crown. What a name. She showed up in the middle of the night, on a priest's doorstep.
I know. That was strange.
Why was she upset?
I didn't think Cordelia did upset.
That must have been some sin Cordelia Crown committed.
Are you frowning?
What? Why?
I can't tell if you're annoyed. I can't see your face.
I'm not annoyed. It's my head. You're talking at full volume here, and I can't turn you off. And don't say you're sorry. They say that when you're still and you listen, you can hear your soul.
They do?
They do. Josh, are you my soul? Talking to me?
You don't think I'm real?
Maybe you're some dark shadow I keep hidden away.
I'm not dark.
It's just not normal. Me talking to myself all the time, it's not normal.
You don't want to be normal. You're exceptional.
Dear Diary, today I paid another visit to Scruff's place. Pinewater Bay. I love that word. I wasn't talking to you. To my tape recorder. It's like a journal, I told you. Can you just be quiet for 2 seconds? So, as I was saying, Scruff. He abandoned his family. Who does that? He did too. And you let him. I read his letters. I don't care what you say. I understand about the sorrows of war. Dad was never the same after the Rim War, but he came back for me. Those girls did not have to grow up without a father. He did have a choice. You always have a choice. And so did you. You should have
Welcome
let
to
him
the
go.
stream.
No, bollocks. You do know how. You could have let both of us go if you tried. Oh, piss off, Josh. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
She said, Josh. She called you by your name.
Oh.
You were in her head?
I don't understand.
Oh. So it was Josh talking to her too.
Soldiers. Maybe the skipper was one of them.
I don't know. Not many islanders went to the First War.
Maybe he wasn't from the islands. He was a soldier.
Lewis Doyle.
Naval Forces Certificate of ID, Port of Bethan.
He went to war.
The First War.
The horror he must have seen.
Oh wow, that's dark.
I remember that one lad. His picture's from the Second War.
So this Lewis Doyle was involved in both wars.
Whoever owned that boat had military history, that's for sure.
I wonder, though. Why did he keep that picture from the First War? Do you think one of those soldiers later steered that ship?
You want to know if one of them was the skipper?
Yes. Maybe he fought in the First War, and then took soldiers on a ship in the Second War.
That's not crazy at all. Scruff took them to the mainland to get their training.
What are you saying?
Scruff! That's right! That's what we called him!
You know this man!
Perfectly! I even remember his face, his voice, his humming, his tobacco.
Oh my God,
Tell me, Riley, are you running from something? You chased through all of this.
I do.
I swear, sometimes you seem to want to fly.
Oh, I would love to fly. Wouldn't that be even better than sailing a boat?
I don't think you're running to that freedom you so badly want. You're running away from something you don't want to face.
You think you know me well enough to bring up a subject like that?
Apparently not.
Glad we got that cleared up.
I just wish you'd talk to me more.
I talked to you the whole bloody time. I swear, sometimes I'm sure I'm losing my mind. What the hell am I even doing here?
I'm not keeping you here.
No, you're only digging holes inside my brain. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
We keep running into these outhouses. One of these times we're gonna go into it and see something terrible.
Josh, it's happening again.
Time to follow Will-o'-the-Wisps.
You never send them.
They're meant to live here with me, not go out into the world.
Letters are meant to be read.
Maybe, my boy. And then again, maybe letters are just meant to be written. Huh?
I don't understand.
My gals, they're happier without me. No. They have lives, loves. I'm a sad old man who's seen more death than I care to share. And these hands, I killed with them. Can't wash that war away, no matter how many years at sea.
But those hands, they've also healed.
Healing doesn't make up for the taking of a life. There's no return from that.
Why write it all then?
I love my daughters. Think about them all the time. And I suppose I want to remind them and myself of all the good parts. Yeah, there's no sense to it. But it works for me. They have a new family now, and I have you, no? Lord knows you need someone to take care of you. Let's go find a spot for this one, my boy.
What about 3 sisters?
3 sisters. Yes, that works beautifully.
Scruff. That was Scruff. Exactly like I remember him.
I didn't see you. You weren't there.
I was already dead.
You were in his head too. He never finished this one. Must have died suddenly.
From a broken heart. Literally. His heart failed. Still, he refused to leave me.
I'm sorry.
My dearest Alice, Emily, and Jane, I saw a young porpoise today. He leaped through the waves with such joy, such freedom, and I thought of you, my daughters. And I remembered the days before I left. I remembered the joy of your tiny fingers wrapped around my own. I remembered your wild curls flying as I chased you. I remembered your squeals of laughter, such laughter. Of course, you are now grown women. Maybe you even have children of your own, but for me, you remain those small girls with that same wild spirit, like that young porpoise dancing in the water. I saw the porpoise when I was out on the boat with my friend Josh. I've spoken of him in my other letters. We were sailing to the isle known as the Dark Rogue. It's a beautiful and rugged place. I wish you could see it. Josh tells me it was a deadly place back in his days, yet they couldn't keep him away.
I really don't get why he buried his letters in these. His daughters probably thought he was dead.
And he liked it better like that.
No label, no nothing. Was he making his own liquor?
No, they look older. At least 19th century? He missed his girl so much.
Then why didn't he go home? I know this picture. It was at that first cabin we found.
Carrie's, yes. That's her.
And that's Scruff.
Thick as thieves, those two.
Kerry was feeding him.
Let's say they fed each other. He'd go fishing or hunting boar.
Why did he think that place was so important? What happened there?
Murder. Here on the islands.
Oh my god! Josh! Look! That's your name.
What? Tragedy struck at the Black Bell Tavern late Tuesday night when George Smith was brutally stabbed by an unknown assailant. George, aged 32, is rumored to be involved in smuggling activities, and the Black Bell has often been thought to be the smuggling hub. Witnesses deny such claims. George was just drinking too much and yelling at someone, and then there was a knife, said Josh. Upon questioning, he added, I could not see with whom George was fighting. The bell is not very well lit. Callum, who had also been at the scene, added, the Black Bell may attract some unsavory folk, but most of us are upstanding members of our community. I'm sure this will not happen again, and I hope they find who did this soon. This proclamation was met by agreement from all Black Bell patrons, who then raised a glass to George. Constable Sprouse says he has no current leads and the investigation will continue.
Do you know who this is?
Archibald O'Sullivan. We called him Archie. A gardener. At the lodge, I think.
These are beautiful pictures, but why did he put them up here?
He must have found something there. That's not Scruff's handwriting.
Where'd he get these notes? Is this about you?
12 January 1821. It appears I was right, and that he has been smuggling contraband into the islands. What's more, it seems he has been doing this in the service of the crowns. Most islanders seem to know this for a fact, and yet do not seem to mind in the least. Even Constable Wilford turns a blind eye. In fact, I have been told I had better quit my inquiries if I want to keep my job as special constable, which puts me in an impossible situation.
A receipt for bottles.
That name Compton. We've seen it before.
In the graveyard.
Callum Compton.
Mr. Compton acknowledges the receipt of 12 bottles from Mr. Barlow on the 22nd of August, 1819, whereupon the sale of said bottles, Mr. Compton will present Mr. Barlow with 10% of sale amount. Huh.
Do you see that date?
June 18th?
I'm sure I've seen it before.
The lodge fire. Very interesting.
Everything in there. It's as if he was conducting his own investigation.
You mean I've been through this before?
I think Scruff was looking for you in the history of these islands, yeah.
Why am I still here then?
Maybe he died before he could finish it? The pictures and the drawings. Do they mean anything to you?
What do you mean?
That frame with the photo in it. The same one we saw at the other cabin.
Wild Rose Cabin.
That was Scruff, wasn't it?
Yes, with Carrie.
The very last one off the islands.
They were very close. Not like lovers or anything.
What were they like then?
They just found each other and they stuck together.
So, Scruff lived here mid-20th century. And he investigated your death.
My death. I don't like it when you say it out loud like that.
But you're dead. We have to think about what that means.
It means that not everything I remember happened when I was alive.
And that there may have been others that you could talk with.
We should find them.
Josh? I don't like it, but, I'm actually glad I met you.
Oh, all right. I think you just made me blush.
I kind of like these round buildings. They're kind of cool.
Whose journal is this?
Nora.
That's Pixie's mother.
Yeah, The woman from the picnic.
And from the eulogy in the priest's notebook. Remember?
1833. How does one begin? We buried Mother in Callum today. A heavy day with more loss than one can hold, and yet the sun continues to shine. Despite being the month of June, I thought of Coleridge's words. Come, come, thou bleak December wind, and blow thy dry leaves from the tree. That refrain repeated itself to the rhythm of my beating heart as we lay Cordelia Crown to rest. She and I had our differences and our woes, but her love and devotion to Pixie were not to be denied. I held the girl close as she wept. So much loss in one so small, but we survive. It is all we know how to do. Of course, the question of why Callum and my mother were together at the lodge remains. What business did they share? One may never know the truth, but certainly one can ruminate. Mysteries keep the dead from being dead. They remain alive as we desperately try to know their secrets. But I hear Pixie, and I must go comfort my sweet girl. Nora, in loving remembrance of Cordelia Crown, died June 18th, 1833, aged 51 years. Gone but not forgotten, 'tis hard to break the tender cord. When love has bound the heart, 'tis hard, so hard to speak the words. We must forever part. Dearest loved one, we must lay thee in the peaceful grave's embrace, but thy memory will be cherished till we see thy heavenly face. Oh, it looks like a nice bed.
She was married.
Always. My love.
That sounds nice. I'd like that. Always. Coleridge. His words get me every time.
I wandered lonely as a cloud.
That floats on high o'er vales and hills. That's Wordsworth.
I like him better. I remember Nora on that beach, with her daughter, Pixie.
It was their home.
What are you thinking?
It's so weird that you're in my head, but you can't know what I'm thinking.
You should be glad. So, what's on your mind?
Nora, she was married. Yet she's always alone. There's no trace of her husband.
We already knew that, didn't we? She said as much in the picnic.
Right, but that's not the point. Who is that man?
We must have come across his name somewhere.
Someone from the islands?
Not necessarily. There weren't many, but some came from the mainland. Why is there no trace of him at Nora's?
I'd ban him from my life if he'd left me.
No need to be mad at me. I'm not going anywhere.
I know. I'm sorry. Hang on. Pixie. She's Nora's daughter. And Cordelia Crown is Nora's mother.
So Pixie,
She's the granddaughter of Cordelia Crown.
the girl's a crown.
Just had to check. Oh. Oh, I see it. I see it. What? The fuck? But no.
I love you, Tig. You know that. You and me, we're both fighters. So you're gonna have to be strong without me. You're gonna have to keep watch. Make sure no one enters this beach without me knowing about it, okay? Might be Daddy. And I might not be here. And I can't miss him. I can't not talk to him, or he might leave again. But if I tell him I love him, if I tell him I'm sorry, then he'll stay. I know he will.
Ah.
Okay, Tig? I'll be back before nightfall, so you're not alone. I know you're scared of the dark.
First of July 1941. My sweet Elfins, today I found a letter from a young girl called Pixie, whose father left the islands many years ago. She's filled with longing and searches for him continuously. How her story broke my heart. Have I caused you, my daughters, such immense sorrow? Am I the cause for tears? I too sailed away and left you behind. Know that leaving you was the hardest thing I've ever done. Know that my love for you is the one thing that keeps me strong. There's nothing I can say to make it right. I just hope you forgive me. And in truth, I hope you've forgotten me, so that I do not bring you such sorrow. Your loving father.
I don't believe this guy.
He's a man with regrets.
Unable to fix his mistakes. You like him?
I get him.
Is this a backpack?
Shoulder bag, used specifically when hiking.
Looks like she did a lot of that. I used to draw maps like these, of imaginary worlds with fairies and mermaids.
Why did you stop?
I had to grow up. Josh, it's Tig.
She loved that stuffed animal so much.
I had a soft dog like that. I would hug it every night, needing its little head on my chest to fall asleep. I still have it on my boat. What was she looking for?
Her dad, of course.
Oh, this is interesting.
She really did picture herself as a true detective.
14 September 1831. Went to Little Rogue again today. How I love walking along the shore. I found 3 perfect shells, but this time I was there on business. Interview with Mr. Cogswell. I wanted to talk to Mr. Cogswell alone, so he came to meet me at Little Rogue near Land's End, where no one could see us. He promises not to tell Mother I came unsupervised. Notes taken during my conversation. 1. According to Mr. Cogswell, my father loved the islands and my mother, but I am unsure if he is saying this just to make me feel better. 2. He says he does not know why my father left, but he hints that maybe my father was involved in something he shouldn't have been. He refused to say more. I will need to investigate further, maybe a trip to Dark Rogue. There are stories of old pirates and smuggler gangs. He also says my uncle knew my father far better than anyone. I don't understand why Uncle Callum wouldn't talk about my father then. Is he sad, or does he know more than he likes to say? Tomorrow I am off to Dark Rogue. I don't care what Uncle Callum says. If the Dark Rogue is no place for a lady, he should not have given me the pixie dust. I am a detective, and there has to be a clue there, so I must go. I only need to be sure that nobody sees me set sail, or they'll tell Mom or Nana.
Oh, I love this. I wish I had a necklace like that.
Maybe someday, when you're all grown up. She reminds me of you.
She's nothing like me. I just don't understand why she kept looking for her dad.
Because she believed in him. Isn't there anything you ever believed in? With your whole heart?
I believed in Santa Claus, and he never came after my mom died. Oh my God, it's her!
Why are you here?
Well, hello to you too.
I saw you leaping about on the beach. Why?
Oh, that's grand. Leaping about? No, I'm investigating. Exploring, if you will.
You don't carry any sleeping bags or bedrolls. You're not prepared for this. What are you plotting?
I see. You expect answers. Let me ask you a question instead. Why are you here?
I live here.
I get that. But why would you want to stay here?
I've climbed every cliff, camped on every bit of land that's
Pixie.
not bog.
It's
I
Pixie.
started that school.
Oh,
Taught those
no, it's
children to
not.
read and write. This is where I belong. I live here.
You're Beatrice Parker.
That's right.
Then maybe you know this guy that I know.
Who's he?
An invisible ghost. I know it sounds crazy, saying it out loud like that.
Significantly.
Can you help me help him? I'd like to know about a girl named Pixie.
She's dead, honey.
I know that. It's about the Crown family. I want to know about them.
But if it's their home you're looking for, you should try the Lodge. On Little Rogue.
Thank you.
One word of advice. Don't trust that ghost of yours. I used to know everybody here. And I've never heard of him. Goodbye.
Oh. We don't get to go in. Or were we already? I'm really confused. Maybe come around
Well,
here and get
at
in?
least this time she said goodbye.
She's not making much sense, is she?
Yeah, like, why shouldn't I trust you? I didn't even tell her your name. She can't know you.
She must really not like me.
Why is that? Did you do something to her?
You don't believe her, right?
Why wouldn't I?
You know me.
Do I really?
I don't believe this.
I only know what you tell me. There's hardly anything about you on this island. Let's just keep going.
Oh, this is the beginning
and see
part
what's
again.
on Little Rogue. We have yet to find you.
This is where we couldn't get when we first got here. My boat should be over there on that dock. Yep, there it is. Okay, I know where we are.
Callum Compton.
I remember him. He was up on Scruff's investigation wall.
County Code RI, Rep Code 238, Ref number. Illegal distillation of high-proof spirits. They were making liquor. Yesterday, I apprehended Mr. Compton for illegal distillation of high-proof spirits. However, before this arrest, Mr. Compton's distilling apparatus caught fire and the small shack used for said illicit activity was burned to ashes. Illegal poaching. Caught red-handed trying to steal it. That's not poaching, that's theft. Huh. I am gonna have to go for just a second. I will be back in a moment. I'm so sorry about that.
More of these bottles.
Contraband. We were all distilling it.
Liquor?
Whiskey.
Josh was in on it.
Is this Archie?
Archibald O'Sullivan, yeah. I didn't know he had a record.
He was a criminal.
I wouldn't say that.
Public intoxication.
Josh, look. Pages have been torn out.
Scruff.
Yeah. This is where he got those notes from.
From Constable Sprouse.
Is it me, or did the sea level drop?
It's low tide, yes.
If only I could talk to that constable.
I wish we could, honey.
Don't call me honey.
Thank you. Josh, is it?
Yes, Miss Crine.
You grew up here, on the islands.
Oh, yes, Miss Crine. We've been here for generations.
That sounds lovely. I think the islands are the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
Me too. Of course, I've seen nowhere else. But in truth, I've never wanted to.
Oh, there is a blessing in this gentle breeze that blows from the green fields and from the clouds.
You've a way with words, Miss Crine.
Oh, Wordsworth definitely does. He goes on, and from the sky, it beats against my
Better
cheek.
be careful, Miss Crine. These waves have a mind of their own.
Yes. I feel Wordsworth today. It's as if the sky itself is aware of how happy this place makes me. I can see why you remain here, Josh.
I don't believe this.
That was me.
You were right there. In front of me.
With Nora. I didn't remember her, Riley. And now just like that.
I think you took her to Little Rogue.
We need to set sail for Little Rogue.
Oh.
All set for Little Rogue?
Let's get this show on the road.
The boat works. I can just leave. Like, the game's over now, right? I'm just gonna go home. I'm so confused now. Well, now if that isn't just a lovely little boathouse.
Little Rogue. I'm so excited. Can you see the lodge yet?
It's tucked away, up on the hill.
All right, let's rock and roll.
That's a weird thing to say.
I know, but let's go, let's go.
It's up there. The lodge, I mean.
We can't get to the stairs.
Don't need to. There's a servant's passageway. Those stairs were for the crowns only.
Damn.
Don't worry. Cordelia kept a spare key somewhere.
We'll find it. A crown would never live in something as small as that, right?
I think it was the gardener.
Archie's. I like it here. This is the perfect place for a beer. Or a bloody smoke. Of course, I no longer have either. I can barely remember what they taste like. Gosh, a drink of any kind would be heaven right now. To make my brain stop for just like a minute. Make me feel normal, because you never shut it. Thank you. I should go back to the lodge. Go through those ledgers again. There's got to be something in there. That tart Cordelia. She was hiding something. Ah, so much for shutting it. No, I don't like her, and neither did you. Are you sure she doesn't have some brandy hidden away? Or some of that whiskey you keep talking about? Oh, that's a good idea. Thanks.
Just talking to Josh.
Is there anyone who does like Cordelia Crown?
You don't say. But the point is that this was Archie's place.
The gardener.
The lodge. Like it's been waiting for me. Such bizarre little creatures. I don't know if I'm charmed or appalled.
Kind of creepy.
So this was a servant's trail?
Yes, that's where we walked. The lodge and everything else up there. That was their world.
And this was your world. The life of a servant.
Are you
I
still
took
in
Nora in
chat?
that boat. Doesn't mean I was their servant.
Is this here where you lived? Little Rogue?
It feels familiar, but it wasn't my home. Such a strange atmosphere here. Don't you feel it?
It's gorgeous, if that's what you mean.
I forgot you love every beach you see.
What can I say? The waves must have cast a spell over me.
Eerie, I say. Especially the water down there. I don't like this place one bit.
Don't worry, I've got you.
Is that Beatrice there?
What is she doing here? Let's go talk to her.
I have to admit she frightens me a little too. It's like she doesn't feel anything. Always glowering over us like that.
She's just rock hard, is all. Sometimes you need to be. Beatrice?
Oh, hello, Riley. That is your name, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's my name.
Did you get rid of that ghost of yours yet?
No. He's stubborn that way.
Hey!
Shh! Not now. Talking to Beatrice.
I see you found your way to Little Rogue.
Yes. I really want to find the lodge.
That's very clever. You will find answers there.
Can I ask you something personal?
By all means.
Are you expecting anyone?
Don't be ridiculous, girl.
You keep trying to see beyond the horizon. Why are you still here?
I used to come to this beach a lot. With my father, I think. Then he went up to the boathouse to talk to Archie. For hours. If they had enough whiskey to accompany them.
Why are you still on the Rogue Islands, Beatrice?
I don't want to leave. I have lost so many. I still miss the ones I loved most. And the ones that hurt me the worst. I cannot leave them.
They're all gone, Beatrice.
I know that. They've all been gone for so long. I forgot their names.
And yet, you do not want to go.
I do not. You never know. They might come back. You may leave me now. I will find you again.
And she's gone.
Why does she keep doing that? Josh, look at those wall paintings.
Selkies. I remember that story. I told it to Margot.
Margot. Tell me about her.
She was just a girl who hung about on the islands.
She felt lost to me.
Hey, diary. Today is not a good day. It's a sad day. There's so much death here. And so many tears. I can feel them all. Josh told me about this cave. A legend. About Selkies coming on shore and hiding their skins here. Then they dance on the beach over there. I've done that. I love dancing, especially on the beach, or at the fun tree. How I wish I could put on my sealskin and glide into the ocean. Sink beneath the waves and let the cold salt water wash away his voice. And that sadness. Such sadness. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Josh, please. Just let me go. Just let me go.
I don't know what to...
Then don't say anything.
That's so creepy. There's that tree from the picture. Yep.
Please stay.
You may want to come down from that tree, Miss Crown. It's unsafe.
Oh, but this is a solid branch. Why don't you come see for yourself? It's a new world from here.
Miss Crine?
Yes.
I'm glad you stayed.
That's awfully nice of you to say so. And I'm glad too.
We're friends.
I wouldn't call it that. She was just being nice.
She wanted to see the world differently. I want that. Knowing this can't go on forever.
What do you mean?
I wish I could see your face.
Riley.
Don't mind me. I'm being silly.
Yeah, she is. She's falling in love with a fucking ghost. What the hell? Don't fall in love with ghosts, kids. It will do you no good. Actually, I think we're gonna call it a night here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful night.